My name's Sam, and I'm going to be putting a quick workout together for you right here. This is only 6 movements, 2 rounds. You're going to do 3 on one round, 3 on the other, and we're going to go for time under tension. Full video will actually be posted in the link in the comments here, and then we're going to go from there. But right here, I'm just going to go over some of the basics and focuses of these movements. So for exercise 1, we've got your squat. Classic move, you want to come down into a squat, driving your hips back, weight goes down in your heels, try to lift your toes up as you do this. Now the reason I do that is really to make sure it focuses on my hamstrings and my glutes. And remember, there are 2 main things you want to focus on when it comes to any exercise. It is what's moving you and what is stabilizing you throughout. So what is moving me is my hamstrings, my hips, and what is stabilizing me is my core. My core includes not only my abs, but also my low back, my lats. So I want to keep my shoulders back, my sternum nice and tall, come down into that squat, weight in those heels, get as low as you feel comfortable, return to the top, drive your hips, and that glute contraction at the top is really where you're going to see a lot of that done. So a front view for you, you'll notice that as I come down, my knees try to stay in line with my hips, even pushing them out a little bit really helps. What you really don't want to do is bring them in here. This deactivates a lot of those inner thigh muscles, so push those bad boys on out. Keep that chest up, lead with that sternum, come on up, get that contraction for your squats. Now after that, we've got your push-up. Now a lot of people, to be honest, they feel intimidated by push-ups. They're not exactly the easiest exercise to do. So here's a quick tutorial about push-ups. Something you want to remember, they are primarily not just a upper body exercise, but primarily a chest exercise. Your chests are really big muscles to the point where they've been separated into 3 different parts. You've got your upper, your medial, and your lower chest. All of these items are actually going to help get you back up from the ground to the top of that plank. So here's what you're going to do. Something to keep in mind. Fundamentally, from the ground, you want to come down, but don't just bring your shoulders to your hands. You actually want to kind of rock forward into this, getting your chest to your hands. From here, pushing through those hands, coming back up, and repeating from there. Now, something to keep in mind, just like the squat, you are stabilizing with something, and in this case again, it is your core and your shoulders. So what you really want to do is make sure they are rolled back. You lead with your chin and sternum once again, coming on down into it. You want to keep those glutes tucked in, contract them, come on down, hands to chest to those hands, and then back up again. This can be done not only from the toes, but also the knees, same deal, coming on up. But as I said before, it's a very intimidating action. Maybe you're not on the ground yet. This can be done from the wall. Same deal, come down to the wall like so, elbows tucked in as close to the ribs as you feel comfortable, draw in the hips, come down, and then right back up again. Now what's cool about this is say you're doing wall push-ups and you think to yourself, Sam, that's a little too easy for me. What else you got? No worries. I've got right here a step stool. You can use a stool, you can use a chair, whatever you've got. Placing that stool on the ground, great rule of thumb is make sure your hands are only shoulder width apart when you get your hands on that stool. From here, bring your chest to that stool, right back up. Really your solar plexus, not so much your chest, so go ahead, keeping those shoulders back, lead with that sternum, tap it, come right back up. Now, the further in those elbows are, the better. You're going to focus on those triceps rather than the tendons in those elbows as you're doing this for your push-up. So start at the wall, work your way to the chair. From the chair, you can work down to a step stool. From the step stool, you can take it down to the ground. So push-ups can really be done wherever you are. Incline push-ups, in fact, will actually focus on certain other things, other parts of your chest as well. With that in mind, go ahead, give those a whirl. Next up, we've got your crunch. Now, what's cool about the crunch is it's not exactly terrible for your back if done correctly, of course. So, come down to the ground. Let your low back rest on the floor. And from here, I want you to just round those shoulders off the ground. From here, try to get the points of your shoulder blades off the ground, come back down, nice, slow, and controlled. Now, if any of you have low back issues, a great variation for this, which I will show you in the full video later this week, is a reverse crunch. Instead, keeping those shoulders off the ground, your low back flat on the ground, bring your knees into your chest, and then tap those heels and repeat from here. This right here is going to focus on lower abdomen to your medial and focus eventually on those upper abdomens to keep you stable. But if you find that's still not for you, you can go ahead. Just focus on lifting those shoulders off the ground, using those arms to try and get that chest a little bit higher for your crunch. And that right there, folks, is round number 1. So go ahead, take a breather. You can do that for 30 seconds each, 20 seconds each, whatever works best for you, or follow along in the video that'll be coming out soon. After that, for round number 2, we're going for that lower body focus with a lunge. Now, a lot of times when I hear about lunges or talk to people about lunges or squats, their first thing they say to me is, Sam, my knees are terrible, I can't. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can. What you want to do is make sure when you step back into your lunge that you plant your heel on the ground. And again, just like the squat, you want your weight to come down into your heel. Flex that toe up, keep your shoulders back, lead with your sternum, and drive through that heel. Now you'll notice I haven't rocked forward at all yet. I haven't used this rear leg to come all the way up. So feel free to go ahead, step back into it, drop that knee and hip, return, and then step that foot forward, driving those hips at the top. So step it, hips go back, drop down into that lunge. From here, come on up. Your hips are still back at this point. And then kick off that rear leg. And once here, drive those hips at the top, contracting those glutes. Now, of course, if that bothers your rear knee, no worries. You can always go ahead, step that leg back, keeping it straight. This will actually keep the knee nice and safe and help open up your hip and quad. What's interesting about this position here is it's going to pull all of those tendons and those muscles in that hip and loosen up the quad. Because believe it or not, that right there is where a lot of our knee pain comes from. Tightness in the hip, quad, sometimes the hamstring or the calf. So you really want to stretch out those muscles, and the best way to do it is keep that rear leg straight as you step into it. Come on back up, contract the glutes at the top, and repeat from there. So with that one, you're going to go ahead, step into each lunge. You can keep your rear leg straight. You can drop your knee if you're feeling ambitious, but of course, make sure you lead with your chin and your sternum as you come down into it, up again, down into it, up again. I had reconstructive surgery on my left knee, and I can still do lunges, so I would say that it's possible. It's just a slight modification you need to worry about. After that, for your upper body, we're going to be talking about the Superman. So the Superman is actually basically a reset position. You're going to come down to the ground, and you're going to lift your thighs and arms off of the floor simultaneously. Coming up, right back down, up, right back down. This is going to hit all of your back. Now, when I say all of your back, I mean all of it. Everything that is on your backside. I'm talking your lats, your shoulders, your glutes, your thighs. Everything from the tops of your shoulders all the way down to the back of those knees is going to contract to get you to this position and then come back down. Now, if you find this isn't for you, you can keep the hands down, push through those hands, and lift the thighs as you come up, come back down again. The straighter the arms, the more intense this becomes. Make sure you are driving those hips into the floor. And if for some odd reason you're not on the ground for this one either, no worries. You're going to go ahead, keep it standing with an overhead good morning. So your hands come up here, biceps to your ears or as close as you can get them. And you're going to hinge at the waist, return to the top, drive those hips. Keep your abs tight to keep your back nice and safe. A lot of times when we do something like this, we kind of round into it. And this right here, all of my back is taking the weight. So what I want to do is draw my belly button into my spine, keep my sternum nice and tall, lead with my chin. And whether your arms are up here over your head, or maybe that's too much on the shoulders, bring your fingertips to your shoulders right here. Get that very same action. Come on down, return to the top, get that glute contraction, and repeat from there. As you're doing this, this is going to hit your entire core, because remember, your core is everything from the bottom of your armpits to the tops of your knees. So lead with that chest and chin, come on down, return, glute contraction, and repeat from there for your second exercise. After that, we've got a classic, and this right here is your plank. This is a very difficult to master move, if only because you need to focus on that contraction. And if you don't, other parts of your body will take over, and you will end up with something holding you up that necessarily can, but shouldn't be holding all of that weight. Think of it like a group project. Should you be doing everything? Probably not, but are you? Yeah. So what you want to do is go ahead, take it down to the ground, nice low plank here, palms flat on the floor, and what you want to do is push through those palms, almost like you're trying to get your elbows off the ground, and then bring your hips in, like you're trying to contract. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze those abs, and keep driving through those palms the entire time. You're going to feel all of the tension from your shoulders. Leave those shoulders go right into that sternum. You're gonna feel all the tension from your back and knees and hips go right into that lower abdomen. And the same thing can be done from the wall as well. From here, placing those forearms on the ground, hips drawn in, contract the glutes. Try to bring your knees to your arms without not actually just bringing them up. Contract, like you can squeeze the muscles there. And the same thing can be done even with the stool. So maybe you're not all the way on the ground. Maybe you've got a chair. Maybe you're done with the wall and you're trying to step up a little bit. You can go ahead, grab that stool, same deal, forearms resting on it, hips drawn in, contract, and hold it right here. This plank is still pretty intense. We'll still hit all of that core and get you the results you're looking for. Well, there you have it, a back to basics breakdown for you. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to working with you with more workouts. Have a great rest of your day.